The Premier League is back, and today myself and Nathan are going to be predicting the scores for week 1 of this 2022-2023 Premier League season. Again, we're going to be running the Superbru Predictions League and the Fantasy Football League, both of which I'll give you details near the end of this video. But for now, let's just get straight into it and get down to business.
Okay, so first up we have the Friday night on Sky between
Friday.
Yeah, I know, not a good way to start the season, is it? Between Palace and Arsenal. Now, I was contemplating what to put for this one, to be honest, considering where I put Arsenal on the table and Palace. But I think if it was at the Emirates, I would have put a home victory for Arsenal for this one. But I don't know. I think Palace will be up for it. I'm going to go 1-1 draw.
1-1 draw. Yeah, I can see that happening. Arsenal, though, have brought in a lot of good players this close season. In pre-season, they've done ever so well. Some excellent victories. Selhurst Park, as you say, tough place to go. Palace, full of pace themselves. I think they'll get a goal. However, I think the quality that Arsenal brought in, Jesus is looking very good. I think they're going to win this by 1 goal, and I can see the final score being Palace 1, Arsenal 2. Next up, we got the 12:30 kickoff on Saturday between Fulham, who've just come up from the Championship, of course, against last season's runners-up in Liverpool. Now, Liverpool, Nunes has come in from Portugal. Yeah. Looks a decent player. I think he scored 4 or 5 goals in one of their games.
Though.
Yeah, Mane to Bayern Munich, but they've signed a couple of decent players. Not done a whole lot of business, Liverpool, over the close season. Young Calvin Ramsey and young Carvalho has come in from Fulham themselves. So I don't think Fulham will breach that rear guard of Liverpool's in this game, and I think Liverpool will start off the season well with a 2-0 away victory.
Interesting. I'm actually going to go one better, to be honest. I'm going to go 3-0 to Liverpool away from home. With Fulham, as you know, Marco Silva in charge, not great defensively, especially for Premier League sides. And I think Fulham, they're going to have a slow start to the season, so 3-0 Liverpool. Next up, we've got the 3 o'clock. First of the 3 o'clocks between Bournemouth and Aston Villa. Now, difficult for me, this one. Literally everyone's putting Bournemouth as finishing bottom. They haven't really bought anyone in minus Ryan Fredericks, you could say, and Tavernier from Middlesbrough as well, which is an okay signing. I'd say really good Championship, but unproven Premier League. I got a feeling Villa are just going to walk this one, with considering the squad they've got, including with how good they are going forward. So I'm going to go 2-0 Villa. 2-0, yeah. I was contemplating this one to be a draw. The likes of Fredericks and Rothwell, who they signed from Blackburn, are actually out of this fixture. Yeah. Rothwell is a few weeks away from fitness, basically
apparently.
The same as what they got in the Championship.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't end well either.
A small stadium down there on the south coast as well. Villa recruited well over the summer, looking decent, and I think Steven Gerrard's Villa, as they seem to be known now, will come away with a victory. I think Bournemouth, the Cherries, will score in this one, but I'm going to go for a 3-1 away victory to the Villains. Next up, we've got Leeds coming up against Wolves. I think this one's going to be a real tight match. Leeds seems to be buying up everyone from Ravensburg, whatever they're called, and Red Bull Salzburg, and the manager, of course, is from Red Bull, so they got Red Bull running through their veins, haven't they, there at Leeds at the moment. Wolves kind of going under the radar.
Don't know what to make of them, considering the way they ended last season. It's difficult.
Yeah. Under the radar, really. Not a lot of people are talking to them. I think they're going to have a decent season. I took them to struggle last year, but they did really well. Not sure how goals. I don't think they're going to be free-flowing with the goals this season. I can see it being narrow, and I'm going to go for a 1-0 away victory to Wolves.
No, I think this is going to be way too tight for me.
Yeah.
Elland Road. If it was Wolves, then 100% I'd put a Wolves win. But Elland Road, it's going to be a stalemate. It just is difficult place to go to. First game of the season, they're going to be up for it up in Leeds. So yeah, 1-1 draw. Next up, and I think personally for me, this is the most difficult fixture to predict of the game weekend, and that is Newcastle against Nottingham Forest. Now, Forest, first time in the Premier League since the 90s, getting a difficult away fixture. First game of the season to Newcastle as well. First season under their new regime too, which, well, it goes without saying their fans are going to be up for it. Just looking at their signings, they've had a superb window, haven't they, Nottingham Forest? So This is so difficult. I'm going to go stalemate 1-1.
1-1, yeah. Fascinating game, this one. Nottingham Forest have bought really well in the close season. Taiwa Awani, is that how you pronounce it? Sorry, I just murdered that one from Union Berlin. It's a real good player. Newcastle, rumours now, they're starting to flex their muscles in the transfer market.
Yeah.
I think they've had a bid of 40 million declined by Leicester for Maddison.
I believe they've got 50 now.
Yeah, it looks like they're going after Harvey Barnes as well. So, yeah, interesting times with regards to this match. I think Nottingham Forest is going to be full of enthusiasm. Newcastle with that crowd behind them as well. This is going to be a great game. But I'm actually going to go for a little bit of a shock in this one. I'm going to go Forest to win this one 2-1 in a real humdinger of a clash. Next up we've got Spurs coming up against Southampton, also at 3 o'clock on Saturday. Southampton seems lots of people are tipping them to go down. Spurs have bought well in the close season. Looks like Harry Kane has scored quite a few goals in the pre-season campaign as well. Perisic, where he'll start at left wing back, not too sure. I don't think Jed Spence is ready yet, apparently, there, but I think Spurs will win this one quite comfortably 3-0. Watch Southampton win this one now.
Yeah, I've gone exactly the same as 3-0. I think with what Spurs have signed in the summer, really strengthening. I don't know why, but that Clement Lenglet one from Barcelona on loan just sticks out to me as a really strong sign, as well as Richarlison and Basuma as well. Going to be Spurs' game. I think Southampton are going to have a slow start to the season, 3-0 for me.
Yeah, and Richarlison always seems to start off seasons well, doesn't he?
He does indeed. Next up, we've got the 5:30 between Everton and Chelsea. Horrible kick-off time on the first week of the season. Everton, who knows what to make of them at the moment under Lampard. We really need to see him, because at the end of the day, it's been his first transfer window. This is now a Frank Lampard side, and they're coming up against a Chelsea team with quite a bit of problems, but Koulibaly coming in, Sterling coming in. We'll have to see how they go, really. I think they'll have an alright start. I'm going to say a narrow 1-0 victory to Chelsea.
Well, Calvert-Lewin apparently is injured for this match, so they're going to be
not
pretty
a lot of
much
options,
toothless at front. They got Rondon, and who's the other striker there? I can't even remember now. Chelsea, Sterling will want to get off to a flyer on his debut if he does start. Koulibaly as well. Still got doubts about their defence, Chelsea. I think they will concede in this one, but I think Chelsea will come away with all 3 points 2-1. Moving on to Sunday, we've got Leicester coming up against Brentford. Now, Leicester haven't actually bought anybody as yet, but they've got a tight-knit sort of group there. Brendan Rodgers,
Kasper Schmeichel as well today.
Indeed, yeah, he's gone to Nice with Aaron Ramsey's there as well. So
a conveyor belt of former Cardiff City players going over to Nice.
But Leicester coming up against Brentford. I think Brentford will probably surprise a few people again this season, but at home at Leicester, I'm going to go for a straightforward 2-0 victory for the Foxes.
I think it's going to be closer than that, to be honest. Well, as you say, Brentford they've had a pretty decent window. Keane Lewis-Potter for 20 million, I believe it was, from Hull. And then you have Ben Mee coming in on a free, which is very, very solid business as well for depth and leadership there. But I don't know why, until Leicester sign some players, don't know who's going to start in goal. I think it's going to be Danny Ward, which I think is a really good choice as well. One of the most underrated keepers in the Premier League. I think there's going to be goals, but level each other out. I'm going to say Desmond's in this one. There's always one on the start of the season. Desmond's 2-2. Next up, we've got the 2 o'clock on Sky on Sunday between Man United and Brighton. Difficult one for me, because obviously you've got the Ten Hag era starting. He's going to be really firing them up for that game. First proper competitive game under him. And then Brighton, don't know what to make of them, considering they finished last season okay, but they tend to go in spells, as I always say. I don't know how they're going to start the season, though. I'm going to edge it to Man United 1-0. 1-0,
yeah. Well, Man United won this fixture last season 2-0. Old Trafford crowd, can they get up for this one? It is against Brighton. Brighton only lost 4 matches away from home last season, so but they did lose at Old Trafford. In pre-season at home, I think it was last Sunday, quite a few of the players left early after being substituted, and one's in the stand as well, which doesn't bode too well for teamwork and all this sort of thing. But I think they'll be ready for this one. They'll want to start the season off well, especially under the new manager. So I'm going to go for a 2-0 victory in this one to the Red Devils. And the final fixture of the weekend takes place at 4:30 on Sky again, between West Ham and Manchester City. I think West Ham will fancy themselves in this one, but Haaland will want to get off to a flying start in the Premier League. I think he missed a bit of a clanger in the Community Shield.
It was harder to score than it was. No, it was harder to miss than it was to score in that one.
It was, but I think Manchester City, with Pep in charge, they want to defend their title for the third season in the row, or the second season, because they've won it twice on the trot now. And I'm going to actually go for a 3-1 away victory to the Citizens. I think they will concede.
Interesting. I think it's going to be a lot tighter than that, to be honest, because I think West Ham, they'll 100% be up for it.
They will.
Man City, of course, they have been building match fitness in pre-season, but they need that competitive game. Of course, they'd lose to Liverpool in the Community Shield as well. So I think it's going to be tight. I'm going to say 2-1, probably with Haaland goals, but yeah, I can see West Ham nicking one.
Fantastic. As promised, details of our predictions league as follows. It is over at the Superbru website. There's a link in the description, and the league code for this season is STEWJOCK. Make sure you get in on the action there. And we are running a fantasy football league. Again, link in the description. Again, and the fantasy football code for the Bluebirdlegend FF League is J449Y4. So, Nathan, thank you for joining me this evening. Game start in a couple of days. Cannot wait for this Premier League season to start now. But we're off to a championship game on Saturday. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, first one of the season, our very annual trip to Reading, Magempty Stadium, or whatever car leasing nonsense is called now. Shocking name,
hopefully
shocking ground.
We'll get a victory. So there'll be a vlog out.
Probably on Sunday, I imagine, considering where we'll be after the game. Probably in a pub, so who knows.
Fantastic. Thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure you leave your comments, your predictions in the comment section, and over at the Superbru website. Enjoy your Premier League weekend, and we'll see you all in the next video.
Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, yeah, yeah.